What is up, y'all? And welcome back to Dad Needs to Talk. I am your host, Robert, aka Father of Vash, and today we're going to be doing a long overdue manga haul for what I am dubbing SEP-TOBER. Because clearly I didn't do one for September, so I figured I was like, you know what? Let's just combine September and October together and just have some fun with it. So, as always, you already know if this is your first time here, welcome. But if you're a returning watcher, then welcome back. As always, if you're not already, make sure you are subscribed to the podcast and to the channel for all the fun stuff that I do here. So, let's dive right in. Not going to take up too much time of y'all day to day, but I hope y'all have had an awesome day, week, month, whatever you want to phrase it. So let's go and just dive right in and just see what all stuff I picked up over the months of September and October. So let's see. Of course, y'all already know the journey through 20th Century Boys continues with I got Perfect Edition Volume 4, 5, and 6. So I've already read volumes 4 and 5, and 6 is next on the list. So this next one, been too afraid to read, but it's called Blood on the Tracks Volume 1. So just a little synopsis, since this is new to the collection for those of you that might not know. So this is a psychological thriller series. And basically, I'll read a little synopsis on the back of this one, but Seichi's mother loves him very much, and his days pass with placid regularity. School friends, even the attention of his attractive classmate Kishi, until one terrible summer day that all changes. And so it is a psychological thriller. And honestly, the farthest I got in this was maybe page 5. And I saw this double page spread. And she looked at me and pretty much told me, like, hey, Robert, you are not ready. You are not mentally in the right mindset to read this. So let's put it down and come back to it later. So I'm waiting. I have to be in a special headspace for that because I already know it is some crazy stuff. Yeah. So next up, and this is a total tone shift from Below the Tracks, but I picked up Sweat and Soap Volume 2. Excited to dive into that. So this was something back in September that I was on a little manga hunt to find. I'm trying to remember. I think I had saw. Hold on, let me check real quick. But this is a series I first came across at a half-price book a while back called Amanon. So I got Amanon Volume 1 and Volume 2. Now, I was at a half-price bookstore, and I came across this, and the cover immediately just grabbed my attention because I'm like, okay, like, what is that? I've never heard of it. And so I looked up on my phone, did some research when I found out. I was like, oh, okay, there's a few volumes of this. And so actually, no. Let me correct myself. I found Volume 2 first. That's what made me go on the hunt. Was I came across Volume 2, did some research into it or whatever, saw that it was kind of a rare thing to find. So I went ahead and picked it up, but of course, it's 2. So I had to hunt down and find Volume 1. I eventually did. I'm trying to think. Actually, I ended up finding Volume 1 at, if I remember correctly, there was a local comic book shop near me called, if I remember, I think it's Generation Comics. Let me check. Yeah, Generation X Games and Comics. It's a little small comic book store out in over here in Bedford, or out in Bedford, I should say. But yeah, check it out. It's right off of the Highway 121. So go check it out. They have some pretty neat stuff. There's actually some other stuff in here that I have only seen there. So, but for Amanon, so like I said, it's a series that follows this character, and if I remember correctly, it follows her like across like a couple of different like time periods and stuff. So just reading the kind of general synopsis of this one. So Amanon, Memories of Amanon, a manga series from the artist of Wandering Island. So the year is 1967, which is the year this one takes place. And a young Japanese man is thinking about the future. On one side of the water, the war is raging in Vietnam. Far away from the other side, the Apollo project has just met with disaster as 3 astronauts die in a capsule fire. And here and now, on a long nighttime ferry ride back home, he will meet and fall in love with a mysterious young woman who carries a past deeper and more profound than his dreams and fears of tomorrow. Her name, she jokes, is no name, Amanon, and she can never be forgotten any more than she can forget. So that's kind of the story of that one. And then with Volume 2, Amanon's wanderings across late 1960s Japan bring her across other lives in small country towns, with each encounter leaving people transformed in her wake. Yet the awareness she brings may not give peace of mind. When she is driven to explain herself to a person who shouldn't exist, her brother. So, yeah, like I said, I'm very interested in checking out these. I know both of these are very, very mature themed, because scroll through a couple pages, especially the second one, whatever, see full on nudity. So, yeah. But anyway, excited to check out that one. This one, Old Boy Volume 1. Now, this one is a series that I've seen several people that I follow on Instagram, primarily Meet the Weeb family dad. He has the full series, whatever, and I see him posting about it every so often. So, yeah, I've heard good stuff about it. So with this one, it says 10 years ago they took him. He doesn't know who. For 10 years he was confined in a private prison. He doesn't know why. For 10 years his only contact with the outside world was a television set and the voices of his jailers. In time he lost himself, changed, transformed himself into something else, something hard, something lethal. Now suddenly, and without any explanation, his incarceration ends. He is sedated, stuffed inside of a trunk, and dumped in a park. When he wakes, he would try to reclaim what's left of his life, and what's left is revenge. Old Boy is an intense, bare-knuckle urban thriller in the tradition of pulp fiction and payback, and is the manga that inspired the critically acclaimed 2003 film of the same name. So I'm excited to also dive into this when I get around to it. But so that was kind of like majority of the stuff that I got for September loosely. I think like Volume 6 of 20th Century Boys I had got in October, but I was like, you know what, I might as well just cover them all at the same time. So next up, let's see, what should I start with? All right, I'm gonna start with some oddball ones. Some of these y'all have already seen me do reviews and stuff on. Some of these you have not. So this one, Karate Survivor in Another World. This one I've already done a review for on my channel. Ended up really liking it. Interested in picking up Volume 2 when that comes out in November. But this volume, so this is basically a isekai series where a guy gets reincarnated into another world, a magical world, where his only skill is karate. So, once again, reading the synopsis, no magic, no cheats, only karate. Suddenly I was dead. Then some half-assed deity performed a half-assed ritual that sent me deep into a wild forest. I've got no magic, no cheats. The only things I can rely on are my wits and my karate. All that's left is to fend for myself in this harsh and unforgiving new world. Like I said, this was another one that it just came out at the end of September. So actually, yeah. So technically, no. It came out at the end of September, but I didn't pick it up until a couple weeks into October. So, but yeah, this one was a fun little read, and like I said, just a little bit more than I expected. Because of course there's like a million isekais coming out nowadays, and honestly, when I saw that he got reincarnated, honestly, I kind of wrote it off initially. I was like, no more. I can't do no more isekais, but I gave it a chance, and I'm glad I did. So like I said, I'm at least interested in trying Volume 2 when that comes out next month. So, next up, something that borders on a little bit of lewdness, which is especially why Volume 2 I'm not going to show too long on screen, but the series called Level 1 Demon Lord and One Room Hero. So here you have the cover for Volume 1 and the cover for Volume 2. Got cheeks out. Full demon cheeks. So, pretty much this series, it follows... So, basically this demon gets defeated by this top-notch hero in his party years ago. And basically he gets sealed away. Well, he ends up waking up early 10 years later, but he doesn't have any of his... He doesn't have he's not like... Basically the demon's not at full strength. But he goes to find the hero who slayed him, because he's thinking like, oh, this guy's going to be, maybe own a country, be a king, whatever, a legend for him taking me down. But no, he comes to find out that in the years that's passed, the hero has basically become a bum. The world has turned their back on him, and it's basically turns into them becoming roommates. Very silly premise, but like I said, I read the first volume. I haven't done a review on it yet, because I was planning on going ahead and just doing Volume 1 and 2 together. But it was a fun little read, to be honest. But yeah, so this Demon Lord, who is wearing this Sailor Scout outfit, and the chick that has the cheeks out, that is his that's the Demon Lord's secretary. So some interesting characters. Haven't read this one yet, but yeah, so actually I just noticed this on the back of Volume 2. It says press F for Fallen Hero. So a little bit of humor in there. So let's see. Next up, let's go with, I'm gonna go to another series that's kind of under the radar that I have really literally seen like no other like English videos talking about this series, which kind of made me really excited. So this is a series called Goldfish, and it is created by a German manga author. So there's Volume 1, Volume 2, and Volume 3. So this is another series that I've only ever seen at that Generation X Games and Comics store. And I've seen this there for a long time, especially Volume 1. Over time, they eventually got all the volumes there. But I always saw Volume 1, and of course, because you know how colorful, especially with this kind of like goldish orange cover, I'm like, oh, it looks fun, looks playful, whatever. So the synopsis of this one is, all that glitters is not gold. The fisher boy Mori is astounded when suddenly everything he touches turns to gold. Nevertheless, it's a power he wants to get rid of quickly, because gold underwear is neither comfortable nor practical. Together with his faithful otter and new friends, Mori searches for a cure and a way to reverse a tragic event. So yeah, like I said, I'm excited to check out this adventure. Like I said, it's a short series. It's only these 3 volumes. Which actually, let me see how many chapters total. Let's see. Of course, say Roman numerals. Okay, it's 18 chapters. So not a super long read, which like I said is another exciting thing. So I can maybe kind of, knock it out. But yeah, like I said, like I've talked about before in another on my podcast and some in another video that I did as well, is one thing that I want to do on this channel and with my podcast and platform is I want to branch out and touch on series that a lot of people don't really talk about or they might be under the radar because like I said, um, I've only seen this thing in one place and I have seen zero other from what I can tell and I am pretty thorough with my searching, but I have seen zero other English channels that talked about Goldfish. So there's plenty of German channels and stuff, whatever, because I found them. But yeah, but I'm excited. But and also shout out, obviously, shame on me for not doing this for a lot of these other authors. But the author of Goldfish is Nana Ya. So yeah, so look forward to that. Hopefully I can get to that maybe in the next month. So next up, as we go into the home stretch here, and very very fitting for the season. These last few that I got I Am a Hero, Omnibus 1 and Omnibus 2 so far. So, I Am a Hero is a manga series that follows basically I believe he's like a 34, 35-year-old manga artist assistant as he kind of deals with the start of a zombie apocalypse. And so I've already read volume 1. I blazed through this first omnibus and this thing I think it's like 20 something chapters if I remember right. I think it's like 22 chapters if I remember correctly. But I blazed through it like once I started reading. And honestly, the thing that like finally got me, because this is another series that I've been seeing on the shelves and seeing people talk about on the internet for months, years. And so, the cover is pretty simple, but it's just something about it just got my attention. And so somebody that I follow on Instagram, I believe her name is Shoto's Turtleneck, because I was chatting with her because she was also reading through 20th Century Boys and mentioned that this is probably going to be a series that she's going to read through next. And so one of the next times I went to the store, I was like, let me, because I, like I said, I see the cover all the time, but I never actually like took a peek inside of it or whatever. And so in the first few pages, you have the main character comes in and you see all of this personality. He's dancing, having a good old time. And honestly, that is like the final thing that like really sold me on it. As well as like the series itself is like pretty critically acclaimed. Because come on the back of the first omnibus it says greatest zombie manga ever. It's pretty high praise, but like I said, I've heard good stuff. Like I said, from what I read in the first omnibus, yeah, it's awesome. Highly recommend it. So, last but certainly not least, another manga series that is also very fitting for this spooky season, and one that I should be done reading in the next couple of days, and I'll be talking about on the next coming episode of Danny's Talk podcast. This is a series by Q Hashida, the same creator who did Doro Hidoro, which I've watched most of. I still need to go back and watch all of season 1. It was on my plan to do this month, but life got in the way. But I am talking about Die Dark, and I got volume 1 and 2. And I am very glad that I went ahead and bought both volumes because honestly, like I've been doing like a lot of stuff, whatever. I was planning on just only picking up volume one, reading it. Then if I liked it, getting it volume two. But then I was like, you know what? No, let me go ahead and just get both of them because, like I said, I've heard good stuff about it from people whose opinions I trust. Especially, shout out to my friends over at the Kami House podcast. Go check them out. But my friends Crystal, Bilal, and Ren, especially I know for sure Crystal and Bilal have read Die Dark and gave it very high praise. Um, and so I was like, okay, I trust their opinion on stuff, so I'm gonna give it a shot. And so yeah, so I read through Die Dark the other night, instantly fell in love with it. So this one is a sci-fi dark fantasy comedy series. So it's definitely, like visually it has, if you've read or watched Dora Hedoro, then you know kind of like what to expect because this series is definitely like very gory. Because honestly, let's see, where is it? Look at these awesome and interesting cast of characters, but freaking like first page, you know. But yeah, like I already read volume one, freaking loved it, and I'm already a few chapters into volume two. But one other thing I want to point out as well that I love about this, that like I said, like the content of it of itself is awesome. The world, the characters are so freaking fascinating. But the bonus thing about this volume, about these volumes, at the back of it, they have a freaking crossword puzzle pertaining to the chapter. Like example, okay, let's see. Across what is the setting of Die Dark? Let's see. The tree gun is Sanko's blank. And so yeah, but yeah, and so with this series, so let's see. Zaha Sanko, who is the main character, Sanko's body has great and terrible powers. They say that possessing his bones will grant you any wish, even the desire to become ruler of the universe. But Sanko is still a teenage dude with his own life, and he isn't about to let every monstrous lowlife in the galaxy rip him limb for limb. He and his skeletal buddy Avakian will use their dark powers to fend off any number of murder attempts while they search space for whoever put this curse on Sanko's bones, because killing them might end the madness. So yeah, that, like I said, super awesome. I cannot wait to go back to finish reading it. But that is all the manga that I freaking picked up in the months of September and October, or as I said, SEP-TOBER. And like I said, I've already read through some of these, but I still have so much more to get through. And so I feel like this is a pretty little balanced. I would say it's probably like looking at everything that I have here. Several dark things, Die Dark and I Am a Hero. Some definitely like more serious and heavier tone stuff, of course, with 20th Century Boys, Blood on the Tracks, Amanon a little bit, and then some romance stuff with Sweat and Soap, some fun adventure with Karate Survivor, and just some hopefully goofy adventures with Level 1 Demon Lord, and as well as Goldfish. But yeah, so that's gonna do it for this manga haul. I hope y'all enjoyed it, and we'll see when I do the next one. Kind of depends on if I don't buy a lot of stuff in November, then I'll probably just do another 2-month one at the end of the year. But we'll see, But as always, thank you for checking out Dad Needs to Talk. Like I said, if you like this video, make sure to give me a like. I greatly appreciate it, and make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can see what other manga stuff I picked up, as well as check me out because I also talk about anime and video games, as well as my journey through fatherhood with all my crazy kids. but y'all have an awesome rest of y'all day, and I'll catch y'all in the next video. Bye and peace.